apartment. Cadmus, the dying, was sleeping in a chair, completely exhausted from the last day and the last information he got and the last reflection he had upon himself and the relationship with Tess and the complicated situation that he got in since the morning. And Tess was sitting in a chair musing, the apparatus, musing about her life and musing about her existence as an individual. Not mentioning a machine or mentioning a human, but just as an individual in this world. And outside was a blizzard. And it's early morning, and Cadmus still sleeping. But Tess, as she doesn't sleep much, has been receiving a lot of information from the media news and from the veils, some stuff appearing in front of her as holographic figures and holographic information. And there is a polar vortex coming from the north that has been appearing, all of a sudden. In the last 12 hours, been growing and growing and growing, and it's been and it's currently facing up the warm air coming from the Gulf Stream in the Atlantic, hitting on the west coast. So the Appalachianites are at the center of the gigantic hurricane of snow and blizzard and cold and windy situation. And outside, in the last 3 hours, the condition has been so bad that you don't see on the other side of the street. It's a complete whiteout blizzard situation. There is some neon light that shivers in the distance a little bit, but they've been gone for the last 15 minutes or so. Outside, it's completely white. You can't see the difference between the sidewalks and the streets, and the piles of snow and the wind are creating these whirlmill of snow, and it's just completely white out. So basically, if you sit by sitting in this in Tess' living room, you have a white screen as a window. Just a perfect white screen as a window in front of you, rectangle, and all you hear is outside. They say that the weather has dropped 25 degrees in 3 hours. So outside right now, it's super, super cold. They warn everybody not to go outside, and the wind is kind of strong. Something like 50 miles an hour. Maybe, I don't know, maybe in kilometer. So maybe 50 kilometers an hour, 70 kilometers an hour. So it's pretty bad out there. Then, so they have warning signs all over the Veil, mentioning that it's critical condition, and nobody knows how long it's going to last. Everybody is just surprised by this situation, and that has been mixed with W, who has been show up on the news now, taking over the media news in the last 12 hours. W shows up as this holographic figure. It's a fat lady, probably, somewhere in his 40s, 50s. She is implanted with all kind of wire coming from the back. She has a big, gigantic, backpack with some liquids in it, and there's a pipe coming from it, different color liquids to her head. She has sunglasses on, this red lipstick, really cherry bomb lipstick that creates this effect of contrasting on her pale skin. She is shaved with bleached hair, and she's wearing this tuxedo leather dress. She has those big fat arms that comes out of the trunk, elbows,
right,
and then elbow shoulders. I'm sorry, and there's tattoos on her arm. She has jewels in her fingers and around her neck, and she's been talking and incessantly about how the corporation should fall and how the people should rise up and take control of their life and take control of the streets and take control of the institution, and that all the idea of levels are meant just to keep people low and just, you know, this discourse, you know, about revolution. And is so this W figure is an holographic figure, you know, made up of real color, but that shivers from time to time. You can tell that it's not completely 3D, even though it's 3D. And yeah, so that's what has been going on for Tess in the last 3 hours of being there musing during the night.
Right on, right on. So if you were to watch, I'm getting an echo. If you were to watch Tess, and if you were to be in her apartment during that night, as the blizzard went on, as Cadmus slept, you would see her sitting in the chair, and if you watched her for 8 hours straight, you wouldn't have seen her move. And, you know, in Tess's head, she's monitoring everything that's going on in the Vale. She's watching that blizzard descend upon the heights. She's glancing at the window every once in a while, but she can see from the news outside what it's really like. You know, she's making the mental notes that it's getting colder, and she thinks about that. She hopes that the apartment stays warm, not for her, because she realizes, you know, that she can survive, or be comfortable, as long as it's not freezing. But she's hoping for Cadmus's sake that the heat stays on. But she, you know, is confused as to why she should really even consider that. And she's been watching the news, you know, watching W spout off all this stuff with some interest, just kind of monitoring all these things at once, because she's able to multitask a little bit more than the average person, because she's not average. And she's been scrolling through at the same time, doing searches, just trying to figure out like who these organizations are. She's been trying to see if she can access any local camera feeds. She's really kind of interested in who actually went in specifically and beat up Lothar. She's looking for any sort of camera feed, just going through some of the back doors of the Vale a little bit. But at the same time, she's watching Cadmus the entire time, staring at him intently. And she's not sure why, but she just finds him fascinating. And so she watches him sleep.
Well, having someone watch you sleep is the surefire way to wake up. How long was I asleep?
7.5 hours, I think. 7 3/4.
I bolt up out of the chair. I got to get going.
Time for work?
No, I suppose. No. I've got to catch sight of myself in the mirror. Sigh. Take a picture. I don't have the time to sit around. I don't have the time anymore to go to work. Who's this woman? Pointing at the media feed.
That's W. She's been all over the news for the past 3 hours, spouting off the same stuff about down with the man, revolution. We need to take the levels back. She seems to be some sort of revolutionary.
So just adding more fuel to the fire?
Absolutely. I imagine she's probably behind some of it. She seems to be quite influential. I can't imagine how much of an effort it took her to get this much attention on the Vale. She seems to have circumvented some of the usual security protocols.
This revolutionary message has been brought to you by Life Corp. You need to buy Band-Aids because the revolution is coming.
Exactly. Those commercials happen every once in a while. Pay them no mind. It's quite cold outside, Cadmus. There's quite a storm coming. I don't know if it's safe out there.
going to have to go out regardless. It's not like you are going to have food in the house.
I eat, Cadmus. There is something in the refrigerator, although it might not be to your liking.
WD-30?
And she just gives you a look. You know, that could melt glass.
That will be a humanity harm for Tess.
Oh, no!
And so that's a humanity harm. So you when you write it, you take, like, for example, the light arm, and then you write humanity next to it, and you will have a disadvantage forward. Roll 3d6. Take the 2 lowest result.
So Tess storms off to the closet and starts pulling out warm parkas, the warmest clothes she can find, both for her and for Cadmus. And she has a surprising amount of men's clothing in the place as well. She starts undressing right there, her back turned to Cadmus, and starts suiting up into something a little less feminine, you know, less revealing, more businesslike, and starts to put on the layers.
I'll find something to look at in the refrigerator.
Refrigerator in the kitchen is it has some milk in it, what looks like probably synth milk.
Oh.
A loaf of what looks like synthetic bread. Some real eggs, it looks like. But in the small little kitchenette, you know, so there's this little shelf, and on the shelf are like a whole bunch of marionettes, just all sitting next to each other. Something you didn't notice when you first came in. Tess comes back entirely suited up. Well, if you're going to go outside, you're going to have to get suited up in some warm clothes. This is a bad storm.
I guess it's a good thing for me your other guests leave in such a hurry.
What do you mean?
I've never left clothing in anybody's house.
I didn't. Nobody left clothing here, Cadmus. I bought some.
Oh. All right, then. I'm going to take this egg, if you don't mind.
Go right ahead. There's more where that came from.
So he'll take a glass and crack the egg and drink it down.
At this very moment, you hear ramming on the door. Pa, 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 pa. Open up, please, please. Tess, open up. It's me, it's Jorn. Open up. Pa, pa, pa. And he's looking like he's trying to get, like through that door.
I'm going up against the wall beside the door, gun drawn, looking at Tess.
I just stare right at Cadmus. It's okay. It's Jorn the street preacher. He's not a bad person. And I just walk right up to the door, open it up.
There is a blizzard of wind and snow and cold entering as a long, tall, skinny, elongated figure with a poncho and some kind of an Asian hat that goes, right, above his shoulder, with a big bandana that, is wrapped around like that, and a scarf that goes to his forehead, as he's, just rolling and trying to close the door behind him because the wind is too strong. And it's like, oh dear. And then he leans on Tess and he's like, dear, thank you very much. Oh God, you're saving my life. Oh, the weather is crazy out there. Oh, Jesus. Oh my God. And then he falls on his knees as he's unwrapping his thing and take off his hat as there's full of snow falling from his poncho, and he's just, shaking it off on the floor and creating all kind of snow and water inside as he's coughing like, oh, his skin is red and blue and crisp. His eyes is all super dry. His lips are crackled by cold. And he's like shaking and shaking. He's taking off all his clothes, and he's super tall. he's skinny. He's dressed in a super trendy hipster fashion with, leather, skinny, kind of, pants with zippers on, and he's inside his poncho there is like all kind of stuff and gears and little things, and he's dropping that on the floor, and it's just he's trying to warm up, so he's just he's taking off his boots, like boots that are super long that goes right under the knee, with Velcro. He goes 3 Velcro on each side, throw them in the corner, and he's just walking. And do you have some water, Tess? There's some cold water, maybe some tea for me there, please. And he's itching his skin.
I've been behind this the whole time, so I'll speak up. I'll get it.
He turns around and is looking at you a little surprised, and is looking from head to toe. Like, oh, I see, Tess, you've been busy with another customer. What did I told you? God, what did I told you?
And I just look down at Yarn. He's not a customer, Yarn. And I turn back to Cadmus as he walks in. Go ahead, make tea for 2 and a glass of motor oil, if you don't mind. And I just kind of whack him as he's exiting into the kitchen.
Whew. And then Yorn is just like leaning on one of these couches and he's just, whoa, this is crazy. Listen, Tess, thank you for being there for me today. I got surprised actually by the weather out there. I didn't even knew if I would be able to make it back at home or something. If you weren't there, I was like, I don't know what I would have done. I mean, well, I've never seen that before.
Don't you watch the news?
Well, I got on the train this morning. The train was still going. The line was still going when I was on it. There was 2 lines already closed when I was on it, and I managed to get back around here and just go down the street. And yeah, I saw nobody in the street. I had snow to my knee in the middle of the street in front here. So I mean, this is some serious condition. No cars, no nothing on the street. I don't know because I don't see for 2 meters in front of me. It's crazy. It's madness. And you've seen these guys. You see the holo guy, the holo ones, the W guy on the news everywhere.
Oh, I've seen her.
This is some nasty business going on down there. I'm telling you guys. Telling you.
And Tess walks over to the window, looks outside, say, "I don't think there's going to be any violence today. The weather's probably too much for it."
Yeah, I think right now the violence is in the Vale. Everything's online. And the Vale has been acting crazy nowadays, guys. The Vale has been acting all kind of fuzz. I mean, it's been leading me in all kinds of false direction. It's been giving me false information. I can't make sense out of anything out there. It's crazy.
False information? What do you mean?
I don't know. Listen, like I was keeping on hearing about these holo ones. They come with us sometimes. They come with the Unified, and they're part of us. And then I see this holo one W figure that keeps on showing up online. It changes face all the time. It's never looked the same. Sometimes it's a kid, sometimes it's a lady, sometimes it's an old man, sometimes it's a Afro butt thing, sometimes. And I don't know. I'm trying to get some information. I don't see anything that makes sense anymore. Usually the Vale, you ask for something and you get some answer. Now it's just, I don't know. I can't tell, man. It's just things have been crazy in the last week. The last 24 hours has been madness with this Blizzard thing. Oh, God. Anyway, listen.
Your name is Yorn?
Yes. What is yours?
Cadmus. I look at Tess. This is the same Yorn, you think, he mentioned with Ray?
Yeah. I believe so, yes.
Yeah, well, I've seen you before. You got that place in the front. I'm the street preacher on the corner.
Yeah, I recognize you. I was just wondering, are you in an altered state right now?
No, actually, no, I'm not. And that's none of your business, pal.
It is if you're trying to tell me what's going on out there. It might just be going on in here. Here's your tea.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And then he warms up his hands on it, and he's like drinking in silence.
And to Tess, I couldn't find any motor oil. Would tea be okay?
Earl Grey, please. Thank you.
Here it is, hot.
She grabs it and just starts drinking it, even though it is incredibly hot.
So I figured that you, Tess, know now, because this passive aggressive jokes coming from Cadmus here about the motor oil. I mean, you know that you're not human, right?
I'm aware of that, Jorn.
I didn't want to tell you. I wanted to enjoy yourself as it was.
Thank you so much, Jorn. You have been very nice to me. In fact, Tess sits down for a second, looks at the two of you. You're the only two men that have really been nice to me. Everybody else wants to sleep with me. Everybody else treats me like an object. But the two of you have been human to me. Thank you.
It's the way of the one. I just follow the way of the one. Every thing or every individual should be treated as equal, should be treated as part of this whole unified.
And Tess stands up and pats you on the shoulder and goes, "That's nice, dear."
As we
back in the kitchen.
He drifts off into his vision of the one. We kind of wait.
Listen, Tess, I don't want to take too much of your time. If you don't mind me, I wanted to. Can I talk with you in private a little bit? Just maybe going in your room or something. I'd like to ask you something, a favor.
Absolutely.
I can distract myself. Don't worry about it.
Gives Cadmus a glance and walks into the room.
Yeah, don't worry, Cadmus. It won't be long. I appreciate your concern. And then
before I close the door, I look back at Cadmus and says, "Most men don't last 7 minutes." So I close the door. Smirk at Jorn with that little dig to both of you.
So I'm looking at Tess. Jorn's looking at Tess, and he's sitting on the bed. He's like, listen, and he's itching. And he's a little nervous. He's like, listen, Tess, I know you hooked me up in the past with some creds, and I need myself some creds right now. I need to get back with my people. They will need me, and I need to get some stash, of some holy sticks before I get there, because it's what we need for when we do our party and our rituals together as a group. And so, I don't have any creds right now. I'm stuck with this weather outside. I cannot even street preach. I cannot get enough money for the group. So I would really appreciate if you can leave me enough creds so I can buy enough holy sticks for the whole group. And so this is a move. This is me, swaying you. And so he's really right now. He's really powerful, confident of you being his friend, of you giving him some creds in the past. So he's like super confident. He's not, the way he expresses himself is not about asking. It's not about that asking. It's pretty much about you have to give it to me, so it's part of our relationship. So I roll and I have an 11, meaning that you give it to me, but you choose one in the sway list.
Mm. All right, Cadmus. I can lend you some. I mean, not Cadmus. I'm sorry, Jorn. Sorry, been a little tired. All right, Jorn. I can give you some cred for your holy sticks.
Yeah,
but I need you to take me. I need you to take me to a terminal.
What do you mean a terminal? You want to
I
like
mean, one of the direct terminals which I can interface with. I want to find out what's wrong with the Veil. And I've only been able to get so far with the security protocols using wireless.
Oh, well, yes, I can do that for you right now because I'm kind of in a hurry.
Yes, Jorn, right now. Would you like the sticks right now, or would you like them next month?
Well, well, okay, I'll do that. There's one at the line station, but I mean, I have no idea how you can get inside of it, and but I mean, it's a terminal. It's at the line station, but it's I mean, I actually have to go back there myself to take the line. I hope it's still up. I hope the terminal is working. But if you want to do, I mean, it's in this condition, it's going to be at least an hour walk out there. Yeah.
I thought once in your building, you could get past the terminal that isn't guarded. Didn't you tell me that before?
Well, last time I checked, I mean, this is a public terminal. Everybody can just access it for some cred. So I don't see you. Maybe now in this current political situation, I don't know. But earlier when I passed, there was nobody out there. I mean, there's nobody out there. It's dangerous. I don't know if you understand, Tess, how dangerous it is outside right now. It's crazy. I'm kind of glad actually that you guys come with me, because if shit gets bad,
you'll need me to save your life again.
I hope you will save my life again. I mean, it's not even a question. I know you will.
She says, "Of course, Jorn." She kisses him on the cheek, and she has this warm smile. But she transfers some creds into his account automatically.
Thank you.
Don't pull that much of the Veil up, but
thank you. The one will
opens the door.
The one will
opens the door and walks out.
And then I follow you outside.
Well, Cadmus, it looks like we're going to go outside now.
Fantastic.
Better suit up.
To do what?
I'm going to go access the terminal and find out what is actually going on with the Veil. Perhaps I can get some answers that way. And you can do whatever it is that you felt was necessary to go outside for.
You can you access a terminal in a way differently than I could access a terminal?
And she holds up her left arm, and like a couple, right from the middle of the bones in her fingers, or where the bones would be, what appeared to be bones. A few tubes just extend out. You can see the little wires on them. Because I can access the terminal a little better than you can. And they retract back into her hand.
And can you modify what you find there?
I don't know. It depends on the protocols. But I could be able to get around some of the security.
What we talked about with Lothar. It would be possible to...
What's up with Lothar?
The police took offense at him feeding members of Anonymous.
Oh, God. Seeing how the police has been taking care of the civilian in the past week, I mean, what happened to him? Is he in the good condition?
He's in the hospital.
He's in a hospital. Oh, Jesus. God. Wow, that's crazy. I'm telling you guys, I don't feel it. I mean, this is really bad. People need to go back to the foundation. We need to go back to the one. We need to let it go of all this bullshit of corporative world and political situation. I mean, we need to think about one another more. He's a good guy, Lothar. Good guy.
That's a hard thing for most people. I mean, I heard about you and my buddy Ray partying up on the 3rd and 4th level where I live, which is a hell of a lot more comfortable than this. Giving it up is you know. And what if you lived on the really nice levels?
I can understand. I can understand.
So we need to give them some information that makes that worthwhile, don't you think?
What kind of information you're looking at, my dear? Because I mean, I don't know much more than you both. I've seen the things in the news. I've heard words in the street.
But that's just it. You and I and Tess, we work on the street. We see the people. When I'm off work, and if I don't have any particular thing to do, I never have to come down here.
Yeah.
I don't even hear the sirens.
You're right.
So, if we could personalize it, if we could suggest that, hey, maybe there's something in some of this stuff that you're eating which is killing you. Maybe your neighbor didn't move out, they disappeared. Maybe that would make a difference. With no agenda, no politics, no religion, just truth. But whatever it is, we're not going to be able to do it in here.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And you know what? I gotta go. So guys, if you want to get to that terminal, let's do this right now, because it's gonna be at least, you know, we need to go to the line, the closest line station. The thing at the line, though, is usually it's a 15-minute walk, but it might gonna take us an hour. It took me an hour. Came in, and you know, we've been losing precious time here, and the snow has been piling up, and I guess it's gonna take us at least an hour minimum to reach out to the line station. So shall we? And then he's grabbing his poncho, putting his poncho on, and, you know, getting all geared up.
Yeah, and Tess unceremoniously like opens the closet again, you know, pulls out like a snowsuit which could fit over Jorn's poncho and just tosses it at him. You're gonna need this. My limit is saving like your life twice a day. You've already used once.
Thanks for the loan of the extra clothes, Tess. I appreciate your thoughtfulness.
No problem. I wouldn't want to see you freezing to death. That would make me sad.
Let's go. Lead the way.
All right. So, Jorn is at the door, and he's just finishing up, you know, putting the scarf up. He's like, "Okay, guys. So, are you guys ready?" So, here's what I'm saying. When are we gonna be outside? We hear the sound at the door, like. So he's already talking louder. He's like, "Okay, guys. So what I hear? When are we gonna go outside? We should aim. We will not gonna be able to talk with one another. Probably we're gonna be screaming at one another. Let's not lose each other." And let's reach you know, like specific spots and meet there, and then go to another one before, because at least a little plan or something. What do you guys think? Because out there it's nasty.
Tess, if you don't mind, I'll reach over to the closet, pull out one of those ridiculously long scarves. You know,
yeah.
Maybe we could all hang on to this.
All right, that's a good idea. It's a good idea. Let's do this. And then you know, we grab the scarf and we go outside. As he opens the door, the wind, super cold. It's cold. It's so cold that it's warm. And then you go outside, and then you go down the stairs. And as you go down the stairs, you see all the snow, super slippery. And Jorn has been, you know, he's holding to the the ramp as he goes down the stairs and heading inside the street. He's got one hand on his hat like that. The poncho is just like a flag, like on the side of him, as he holding the scarf. As the scarf is like already twisting and making a twist. It becomes super rigid, full of snow, the sticky big snow that just stick to it. And then walking, the condition is so bad that as you guys reach the middle of the streets, It's been already 10 minutes. You guys are out, and everybody needs to roll for a threat, which is the weather.
Okay.
Oh, I'm rolling with disadvantage this first time. That should be interesting.
Yes, yes, and it's 2d6.
Yeah. So I guess I'm rolling 3 and taking the lowest too.
State doesn't matter.
Nope.
Yeah.
Well, that's an 8 for.
All right, so you get 1 moderate harm from cold bites.
Nasty.
Same for Yorn. Actually, Yorn is gonna get something else later on, and then you, Tess.
And Tess, because I'm rolling with, I guess I'm rolling with disadvantage for my humanity harm. I have taken the 2 lowest of 3d6, and so I have a 6.
Yorn's gonna take 1 moderate harm as well, and you get a 6. 6 is okay. So 6 is a complete miss. So you're gonna get 1 moderate harm, but you also gonna get that your equipment freezes.
Mm-hmm.
Do not operate below.
All right, so you guys are walking, and Yorn is leading the way, holding up to the scarf, and after like 2 blocks away, there is some kind of there is, I mean, it's a total whiteout. So like Tess in the back barely sees Yorn in the front, and you can only see Cadmus in front of you. The wind is so heavy, and the cold is so crunchy that it takes all energy. The snow is up to the knee, and some places where the wind is strong, you get back to the asphalt, but then as you walk somewhere else, the snow has been piling up higher, so it's kind of like trying to find a trail in between these piles of snow in the street, and Yorn is trying to lead the way. Eventually, after a couple of blocks away, reaching outside of under some kind of a gigantic umbrella that makes an old corner with three piler, and it's the cinema. There's a cinema on the and so under that thing, you get a pretty decent cover from the snow. So reaching that spot, Yorn takes a break and turns around and say, "Whew! So you see, guys, yelling like, you see how crazy it is," and he's just trying to take to get back his breath as the wind goes outside of you.
I've seen worse.
We're halfway through, actually, guys. We're halfway through. So do you guys have an idea where we can go maybe to warm up ourselves before we reach out to the line, because the line is up as it's a train that is higher. We're gonna reach the stairs in the 2 blocks away, so maybe another 15 minutes to reach the stairs. What you guys think?
There's all kinds of little after-hour spots through here, but I don't know if they'll be open.
And Cadmus and Yorn might notice that the scarf is getting a little bit heavier in back of them. That Tess doesn't seem to be moving quite as fast. There's more resistance.
So Yorn's looking at you guys. So are you guys ready? Let's, we can go to the line. If the line is still operating, because the wind is, so if the line is still operating, maybe we can grab get on the line and get warm up on the train. But the thing is that if it stops operating somewhere, in the heights, and we don't want to go there, that's the only way I can see. I don't know where we can go other way. But you want to reach that terminal, Tess? I gotta go. I gotta get going.
And
no.
Tess just gives you a blank stare.
Oh, we got to get out of the wind. down this alley, there's a, I can't, not the nicest individual, but, you know, the booze is always cheap. Come on. I'll introduce you to Ray's cousin. He's like Ray, but not nearly so charming.
That's awesome.
All right, so so that's a link move.
Yes, sir.
And how do you feel right now concerning Ray's cousin and situation and all that?
Right
To
back.
be honest,
And what's his name?
Lewis. Actually, right now, with the weather, with his revelation yesterday that Tess was so powerful, so in control, you know, and now suddenly seeing this hurt and this version of Tess trying to operate in the weather and clearly struggling, I think that Cadmus is scared. He is quite worried. And what if his suggestion is responsible for something happening to her? So, yeah, scared, which is a 0 modifier. For a 6.
So you guys are walking in the. Oh, I'm gonna wait for Ivan to come back.
Yeah. It's all right. And for some reason, therefore, then I owe this guy something.
Yes, yes.
Sorry, fellas, but that was very sweet. It was very sweet that you were that concerned about Tess's well-being.
All right, so
No one likes to
apparently-
have their smartphone scratched.
But
you
apparently
guys-
this guy doesn't like you very much. Okay, let's go.
So Yorn and Cadmus switch places, and Cadmus leads the way toward the small under hour bar, you know, that is run by it's called the Nexus, and it's run by you know, Ray's cousin in one of the back alley not so far from there. This is a place where he goes to, you know, when Cadmus goes take a beer sometimes after his shift, you know, walking toward the line, and so he's you know, he's leading the way in the snow. The wind is crazy, it's just nasty, and after a 15-minute walk, that is just so painful because the wind is in the face. And it's like, feels like you don't walk, you know, you walk 1 meter, you walk like 10 meters, you know, you fall 3. Walk 10 meters, you fall 3, and then eventually you reach that back alley where the winds just stop, and then the winds doesn't get there, and it gets really you know, different. It's like a microclimate, like a different areas. There's not much snow falling in. It's like in between buildings. It's really, really narrow. And then eventually there is a couple of stairs that goes down, and there is this neon on the door, full metal door, you know, with graffitis and everything. And it's a circle with that goes and flashing and just and change color, you know, from time to time. And then after it finishes cycles, there's Nexus flashing, and then it starts again. And then you're opening the door, entering inside. There's a few people there. It's quite full. And as soon as you enter, Lewis behind the bar sees you and is like snapping his fingers, like pointing at Cadmus. Like, come here.
You guys find a seat. I got to talk to Lewis.
So Lewis is looking at you, and he's like, hey, come over here. So what about that pass? you were supposed to provide me to go be able to reach out on your level. Like you were supposed to give me a pass so I can go see my my cousin, my grandfather out there. An invite, special guest pass for the level 4. I haven't seen you in a while. What's up with that?
Well, I slide my hat back so he can see my face. Things sometimes take time. I have to update my own passes before I can give you an invite.
I'm sorry. I made
it's
a mistake.
Me.
I made a mistake. I thought you were Cadmus. I recognized the clothes, but I'm really sorry. And with all that, what do you say?
I'm saying it's me, Louis.
He's looking at a blonde, curly, Afro type haired, with the nose that doesn't match his memories. He's just.
So I have to update my own files before I can give you the invite.
You know, Louis is like he's like a punkhead. You know, he has like a half mohawk in the front and a mullet in the back. You know, and he got some really like some studs thing in his neck. He's super skinny. You know, super skinny. He doesn't. You know, he looks a little bit like a drug addict that takes too much. But he's a phlegmatic guy. You know, he's pretty in control. He's been running this trash bar for quite a while. He's looking at you. Wow, that's crazy. So what's up with you, I guess?
So, you know it's bad outside. My friend's not reacting well to the cold, so I came in here. I haven't been dodging you. I've been busy, as you can see.
Yeah, well, that doesn't change the fact that you owe me. So
I do.
How are we going to go about that?
Well, like I said, I haven't been able to get home, which means I haven't been able to update my own passes. So, if I can use your gear to update my passes, then I can give you your invite, no problem.
Okay, so that would be a sway move on him. You have to sway him. Since you already owe him, you should be at disadvantage. I don't know if it's by the rule, but I would like to give you a -1 for that. What do you think? Is it by the rule?
Well, I'm asking for another favor so I can do the favor I already owed.
That's an obligation move, though. That's an obligation move. It exists. It's called when you deliberately lean on. When you ask someone to do something you want and use obligation you have on them to make things square. Lean on.
He has it on me, though. He has it on me.
Is that what is it? What it's written? Oh, that's not what it is.
It's
obligation on you, and they use it in order to ask you to do something they want, but you can and won't do it. When you ask someone to do something you want and use obligation you have on them.
Yeah, but they have it on me. I owe him.
I have problem understanding. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure. So like Tess, Tess owes me.
Yeah, trying to sway. Yeah,
I owe him.
It's a sway move. Just trying to sway.
Okay. And I'm no longer scared. We got here. But this is all just annoying. But I feel, honestly, Ray and Louis are beneath me.
Powerful.
And it's so annoying to owe this guy and not be able to deliver. It's the worst thing in the world, and as a distraction, But it's like there's no way this is going to bring me down, man. So yeah, it's powerful, which is +2. And I roll an 8, getting 10.
All right, so like okay. Listen. You're gonna have to do me a favor first. You're gonna have to do me a favor first.
Okay.
Each with you, yeah.
I didn't hear
I
that.
hate his gut. Yeah. You enter with him. I hate his gut. This guy is a drug head. He comes here with his bunch of fucking weirdos. I get this guy out of here, and after that we'll do something. Kick him out of here. I don't want to see his face here. Either you go, or he goes, and then we talk about the my gear.
Okay, I'll go talk to them. You stay here. Okay. So I go over to the table.
Tess looks very, very sad.
Sit down. It's like this. I've been avoiding this place because I owe the owner. And he wants to be paid right now. This is the first time he's ever had me at a disadvantage, and he's going to cash in on it. And I don't mind paying. It's just been hard. But he wants me to help him right now, and the only way I can help him right now is if I invite our dear street preaching friend here to go back out into the cold. Or all three of us are going back out. But Tess, you don't look like you can take it.
What? This bastard here want me out? This motherfucker here want me out? Nah, you gotta be kidding. I'm not going anywhere. If I'm leaving this place, you guys are on your own, and I'm leaving right away. I have stuff to do anyway. So it's either I go or we go.
Well, that's.
And I don't mind. I don't care. Tess. Listen, you know where the terminal is in the line? I mean, you've been there before. So if you don't know, it's like right next to the counter where you get your cards and your credits, to get on the train. So it's right next to the photo area, the virtual reality area, and the place for the holographic figures. So I mean, you know where it is. I can just go my own way. And we see each other in a few, if everything is possible. But I mean, it's up to you. I can bring you there, but I mean, I have to go as well, so I don't care. And there's no way I'm going to wait outside just for no reason like that. That has stuff to do.
Yeah, I'm sorry to even ask.
Oh, don't worry, Cadmus. I understand. I mean, this guy's a jerk anyway. So.
And Tess is just looking blank, right at Yorn as whatever her circuits are just defrosting. You'll be all right, Yorn, right?
Yeah, don't worry about me. Don't worry about me.
I can find the terminal.
All right, then. Yorn is just grabbing his stuff, getting all dressed up, putting his coat on, grabbing his thing. He's kissing Tess on the cheeks like, listen, girl. This guy seems pretty capable, so I stay put. We should see each other sometime soon. I don't know where. I don't know when. Be careful out there. Things are gonna get crazy. I'm telling you, shit is not wrong. There's something wrong with the veil. So be careful out there. And thanks again for the love. The one is in the one. You have the one in your heart, and you're part of the one.
Thank you, Yorn.
Turns around, looks at Cadmus. Well, Cadmus, it was nice meeting you. You seems like a pretty good fella. I think she's in good hand with you. So
I'll square this with later.
And he grabs a bottle of beer, "You motherfucking piece of shit, Lewis, take that shit up your ass!" And he's throw the beer at the guy, and he runs out in the cold. And then the beer explodes behind the bar, and as Lewis, throw down behind the counter, as he grab a bottle and throw it at Jorn, and hits the back of the door as Jorn is going outside in the cold. "You piece of shit, motherfucker! Don't come back around here, you junkies, piece of shit ass!"
And as
fucking
all the circuits start to warm back up in Tessa's head, she once again comes to that conclusion that yes, humanity just is beneath her, and there certainly she is worth more than that, and that if a human has created her to do some kind of service, clearly she could do better, and she just files it away as like another observation.
At this moment, I want you guys to do a 2d6. To roll a 2d6.
Oh.
5.
Yeah, that'd be a 5 right there.
All right, perfect. So there is, Anthony, there is some signal in your eyes and ears that says that it's being hijacked, and there's malfunction to it, and they become unoperable they make an update. And it's like you don't do anything with it. It's just updating.
So I can't see in here.
Yeah, utilizing your thing. Same thing with the ears. And Tess, you receive a powerful electrocution through your whole body inside, and it's just cringy. It gets super cringy, and it makes you for one light wound. And you guys receive information. Both receive the same information at the same time, saying the line in the city is back on track, and all commute services are now perfectly operating. So it's kind of like a news media appearing in your
right, a weather alert.
Yeah.
What the hell was that, Cadmus?
I couldn't tell you.
I've had many news alerts in the last month, but none of them are accompanied by damage to my systems. And I have to.
Well, I'm receiving an update from head office. Yes.
There's clearly something very wrong.
So look, leans in and signals for a private conversation, slipping into the digital space between us, partitioning off a portion of the veil for an actual private conversation. And Cadmus's digital room is pretty simple, right? Just white square room, no walls, no doors, or no windows, no doors, and very comfortable, kind of antique looking furniture. And Cadmus looks nothing like the Cadmus that you see in front of you, or the digital representation of him, but the clothing style is similar. It's clearly a digital representation or an icon or avatar. Tess would manifest as guest, but that could be changed.
Guest. Something like that, perhaps?
Right on.
And Cadmus watches as Tess has accepted the invite, guest manifests, and then slowly shimmers And you see the form of Tess appear there. And she's got blonde hair, which she does not usually have. And she's dressed in an evening gown. She sits down in one of the chairs, looks around and said, rather sparse. I would expect this to be the environment created by an artificial intelligence.
Everything has a function. And the function of this place is just to be able to talk without being overheard or seen. Now, Lewis, I owe him a favor. That's fine. And I plan on fulfilling that today because whatever. But he's going to give me access to his equipment so that I can re-register my current appearance to my fingerprints and bio ID.
I see.
While I'm doing that, I don't see any reason why you couldn't try to do what you do, and maybe you can do it from here and not have it be traced to us. It might, unfortunately for Lewis, be traced to Lewis.
I see. That is an excellent idea. You were skilled in subterfuge.
But we have to decide what it is that we're going to do. Are we going to update the people? I'm not sure if we're the ones to do that. Are we going to update the media? Or are we going to look for a corporation that might be responsible for negatively affecting people? Things like me. Maybe they're all tied up together in it anyway.
Is there a hierarchy that you would suggest? Once I'm in, I can look for information. And I can alter information if I need to, if the protocols will allow me to. But
those doctors, those street doctors, they knew what was wrong with me. Within moments of me sitting down, he knew what was wrong with me. That means they've had specific training. At least that's what it suggests to me. They've been told to look for specific symptoms of, but of what? And he was able to assess my condition in minutes and let me know that I'm within days of my death.
Such
Trust me,
diagnostics
Tess, he was
seem
telling the truth.
uncanny. He was. That level of diagnostic from a simple examination does seem uncanny.
So there must be information. We must be able to find it, and we must be able to disseminate it. And that might be the trigger. If you're willing to look for it instead of what you wanted to do, that might be the trigger that helps us effect change like Jorn is talking about and like Lothar needs and people like him.
I understand. And Tess just kind of looks. Her eyes are kind of rolling back in her head a little bit as it appears that she's just thinking.
I have one obligation on Tess.
All right.
And becoming friends with her, I feel like cashing it in, making it happen, and calling in the favor.
And Tess thinks for a second. She thinks about how nice Cadmus has been to her. And she can't quite put her finger on what it is that she feels about him. But she feels compelled to honor his request, even though she really wants to look more about what's who attacked Lothar and try to get to the bottom of that and exact some kind of revenge. I will do as you ask, Cadmus. You'll have to give me uninterrupted access, though. I may become unresponsive.
All right. So I go back over to Lewis.
Hey, thanks,
Right,
man.
Lewis.
Thanks for. Yeah, I see. You did. Yeah, that was pretty efficient. Thank you very much. So you want to have access to some gear of mine? What do you mean by gear?
Well, I need to update my biometrics to register this new look.
Yeah, I see.
Or even I can't go home.
Okay, so listen, I have a terminal in my office, And so you're telling me that you give me that pass before you leave, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So go in the back door on the left. It's my office. The terminal is there. Just make yourself comfortable. Make yourself at home, and then I see you later.
Sorry about the beer bottle, Louis.
The usual around here. Don't worry.
Hey,
It's better than a trench arm, you know.
My friend's not taking the heat well. Do you have anything hot? Or taking the cold well? Do you have anything hot?
Yeah, there's a pot of coffee on the corner there. You know, you can have some. No worries.
Great. So
Tess follows
get
him.
2 big hot mugs of coffee.
Yeah. Walk into the office. Tess is drinking the coffee as if it's cold water.
All of a sudden,
people might notice that.
All of a sudden, all your parts, get back in motion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like coffee.
And on that note, we scared off the MC.
That's fantastic.
So what I propose is that that Cadmus goes through with his regular update, and then issues the pass.
Right.
And then Tess can interface with the terminal. If we get interrupted, we get interrupted at that point. And then Cadmus will be able to distract Louis with the pass.
Exactly. Yeah, I was just looking anywhere. I thought for some reason there was an interface type of move, but I don't see it.
Isn't it one of your abilities?
Well, it's a move that I have not purchased, but that's more of a thing where I can turn an AI into more of an NPC. Oh. It's almost like a digital link move. But I believe, other than that, I think the game is somewhat silent on what an interface actually is. I think that's more of a narrative thing. So we'll find out.
So as you guys enter Louis' office, it's super crampy. Like, it's really small. Smells like alcohol. There is a couple, barrels on the corner with beer barrels and everything. There is in the back. There is like this big library full of all kinds of stuff. With glasses and paperwork and everything. It's a real mess. On the wall on the right, there is a big holographic wild pig head, as a game, as a game thing that's right there. It fits Louis's tattoo that he has on his left shoulder. There is a black leather couch on the right, and it's full of boxes and stuff on the left, and there is on his desk there is a tablet. Just a really old school tablet that is made of filigrane. It's just 2 sticks you open up.
Right.
It's already opened. And there is an animation. When he goes to sleep, there is an animation, and it's like a porn movie. It's like a porn movie, holographic 3D porn movie that just goes on animation. And there's a small sound that you can hear the whining of the protagonist as you get closer.
Are you a protagonist in a so, yeah, that fits perfectly with Louis. Cadmus can't refrain from a look of disgust on his new face. And when you were out of the room, we discussed that we'll handle the updating of his ID first, and then issue the pass, and then Tess will take over. So, Cadmus sit down at the tablet and swipe away the screensaver.
That would be a lift the veil move to see if you manage to get the thing you want. You think that
Yeah,
Lewis
sure.
can.
Fair enough.
How do you feel?
How do I feel? I think coming down off that, I'm not going to be pushed around by Lewis thing, but then having to kick Jorn out of the bar. I think this left him at just a calm, nothing, kind of blank, what am I doing kind of state. So I'm going to be in the realm of peaceful here, which is actually a -1. He's got things on his mind. And that I roll a 7, leaving 6.
All right. So as you get into the the terminal, trying to upload your your biometrics, you don't have access automatically as you try to access your portal for the changes. The biometric it says access denied. Access denied. Keeps on. You try to answer the questions, or you try to give a thumb or an eye retina lecture or whatever. The questions you don't have the answer. You don't remember. The retina and the thumbs lecture are not working, so you just can't access your biometrics
Right.
updates.
The problems of the Veil have spread out to the point where even these basic updates are not working. Yeah. I push back from the desk. Give it a try, but I don't think we're going to get anywhere with this today.
There's a problem. And Tess grabs whatever's left of Cadmus's coffee and downs it the way she just downed the other glass of water. Sits down, and as Tess is warmed back up, as her circuits have kind of rejuvenated, she just remembers. She's thinking back to that walk, and she's thinking back to how she felt. After Cadmus pretty much called her a toaster, for lack of a better term, and she's thinking of how dejected she felt in that walk. And she realizes now that instead of doing what she wanted to do, to find it, to look for, who her friend Lothar, and to get the exact information that she could exact revenge, she's now compelled to do a favor for this man that she feels something for, but she's a little angry at. He's just been treating her inconsistently. He's been treating her like a lady. He's been treating her in a chivalrous manner. But then he insults her every once in a while, and she realizes that during that walk, she shouldn't have received that much damage from the cold, but she simply wasn't paying attention. Her systems her diagnostics were somehow distracted in this unending loop, thinking about how it felt and how sad she was. And she's furious, but she knows that she has to do what Cadmus asked, or she feels like she should. So she almost pushes him away from the chair. She looks down at the tablet. She shakes her head for a second, and she stares at the tablet. All kinds of diagnostics come up. And it points to her, like where the actual modem in the wall is. So she grabs the tablet, finds where the modem is. The tendrils extend from her hand. One just goes right into the tablet. The other one goes right into the wall. So she's jacked in 2 different places, and her eyes kind of roll back in her head, and she becomes just stiff as a board. And she goes into the Veil completely jacked in, no wireless, looking for, streaming through the protocols, just pure digital, looking for information about anything about the Cadmus's condition, about diagnostics, about it, any kind of cause for it. So I don't know if I'm analyzing or
it's lifting the veil.
I'm gonna lift the veil. Okay, we'll call it lifting the veil. But I'm pissed. So. And that is a 12 all told with the. Oh no, I'm sorry. That is an 11 all told with a modifier.
We listen.
Well, let's see. So I am looking as I'm lifting the veil. What I'm searching for is anything concerning the origin of Cadmus's illness, or why doctors are being trained to look for this?
Oh, yes. So I'm sorry. Sorry. As you enter the Vale, the Vale is super like active. There's a lot of things going on, like a lot of information, all kinds of how can I say that, interactions in terms of network, and everything is super open, everything is super fast, everything is clammed but there's a lot of activity, so there's a lot of noise going on. But in terms of what you are searching for, though, it brings you to a place in the Vale where it's pretty calm, and it's on the corporate level, and so what you get is the information you get is that the hollow ones, or what happens to those who get that. So you get some secret information coming from the conglomerates, is that this disease has been designed by some higher powered individuals, lobbyists from the conglomerates, introduced in the Vale, but they lost control of it. And the Vale has been utilizing this designed disease to manifest itself physically through people who get it. And it's not clear how, and it's not clear why, and nobody knows how to stop it or what. But when you start changing physically, then the next stage is becoming holographic. And so the hollow ones are known to be what happens when you physically die. That's the information you get about Cadmus' condition.
So being jacked in this far, and constantly being on the lookout for any sort of security protocols or programs designed to take out intruders, modulating out all the noise, finding this information out. I'm trying to analyze the situation and figure out, is there anything, any way to stop this? Is there any way to slow down the process? Is there any way to actually help Cadmus escape that sort of fate? And if not, is there a way, even not if not, but is there a way to trace it back and find out what part of the Vale, if there is an intelligence in the Vale or something that can be trying to think of what the word is. I'm trying to see if I can learn anything more about this other than like the original origin of it. See if there's so I'm trying to analyze. I'm not sure if I can do a move within a move.
Well, I feel like we did that role now. We should should move on. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Right on. But there Tess is in the chair, eyes rolled up in the back of her head.
Cadmus is by the door, not wanting anyone to walk in on them with her like this.
And finally, after an uncomfortable period of time, the first thing that happens is that the tubes extending out of her left hand just retract out of the tablet, retract out of the wall, snake back into her hand, with almost kind of like a sickening, like smack sort of sound, what looked like normal flesh, just seemed, just didn't look right. You've seen cybernetics before, but this is incredibly odd. And then her eyes kind of like just come back. I have information, Cadmus.
And did you find who's responsible?
Yes, although I don't think you're going to like the answer.
Then that would just be a normal day.
Well, what I mean is, when I found out that Lothar had been beat up, I became angry. I didn't know what that was initially, but I realized I'd become angry, and I wanted revenge. I wanted to exact punishment on those that caused him harm. But when I don't know who it is, I become frustrated. And imagine if those that were responsible were gone, were dead. There was no way to actually lash out at them. That would make me feel helpless. But in your situation, as best I can piece it together from the information, because it was difficult. There are some heavy encryptions there. This disease of yours is something that was manufactured by some of the heads of the conglomerates. It is really difficult to trace out exactly who, but it was not intended to produce this sort of effect. Not entirely. The physical manifestations that you have now are only the first manifestation of the disease. Eventually, when your corporeal form dies, you will be incorporated into the veil in a way to allow the veil to have, in a sense, a body or personality. The hollows that we've been seeing on the screens, W, things like them, they are your predecessors. This is your ultimate fate. I do not know if there is a way to alleviate this, but in a way, the ones responsible for your condition are not the heads of the conglomerates, but the veil itself. Do you understand?
It makes things make a certain amount of sense.
Who would you kill first?
Do we have to kill anybody?
Have you ever killed anyone, Cadmus?
Sometimes if there is an infection, it has to be cut out. Sometimes it's enough to just shine light, expose it, and it scurries off on its own.
You mean revealing the truth?
If you knew that there was a glass of acid on the table, would you drink it?
No, that would cause me great harm.
If you thought it was water, would you drink it?
Yes, if I was thirsty.
We think the veil is water. All we have to do is show people that it's not.
You're fond of metaphors, Cadmus. How do you propose we do that?
Well, that I'm not sure. In a sense, for many people, giving up the veil will be like giving up walking.
Yes, humanity is dependent on it, as far as I can see. Without the
We gotta
veil,
get out of this place.
you would
We've
feel
got to get out
lost.
of this place.
The apps, the veil,
This
or this
room,
bar.
this place.
And Tess smiles, and every person has an automatic music player embedded with them, which they can use to make music outside. And all of a sudden, you hear a very popular song from centuries ago. As you hear, I believe it might be the Animals. And we gotta get out of this place.
At this moment, Tess, you receive a message in your consciousness. Says this: Mission Objective 1. Contact with item number X22 at Newport Station.
Oh. And it's just information. That's what I'm getting, like an information. Or is it something else?
Oh, I mean, it's the impulse to, you have the impulse that comes with it to reach item number X22 at Newport Station. It's the mission objective. It's what you have to do.
Gotcha. All righty. I am feeling compelled to go do that. And so there's a struggle now in my head. Do I stay with my friend? Do I go out? Do I yank him with me and abandon his quest entirely? And I'm feeling this internal struggle. And I get scared because I feel this incredible tug to go follow this product. I get scared because I've just started to taste some kind of humanity, some kind of idea that I might have some sort of free will. So I'm attempting to neutralize this, what I see as a threat, to resist this impulse. And I'm scared, which instantly has pushed me over the edge. I'm at 5 with scared now.
Oh, so you rolled the dice? I didn't hear. I'm sorry.
No, I did not roll the dice yet, but I'm figuring that's probably where I'm at.
To spike.
Oh,
I'm spiked. I'm spiked and scared.
Okay.
Terrified might be a better term. It's a terrifying experience that she's getting this, overwhelming compulsion to do this. So I'm assuming this is neutralized. I hate to name the move,
Yes,
but I
yes,
imagine.
go
Okay,
ahead.
right.
Yeah.
Go ahead. And this is that is an 8. So partial.
All right. So you get yourself
Another harm? Am I dead yet?
Yeah, you get yourself another arm. Yeah. Get yourself an arm. So
Right,
follow the structure. Little arm, moderate,
Right.
and you are forced to go to the Newport Station. It's stronger than you. So as you resist, not to go to the Newport Station, you get another electrical impulse inside you that forces you to start going in that direction. Following the GPS you have inside you. So this the fastest, most direct way toward it.
I have 2 hold as a result of my partial success.
Oh, you decide.
Right.
Do you?
Yeah, I believe I have 2 holds, so I get to decide.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I decided for you. I thought it was me to
Right.
decide. Okay, decide.
Gotcha.
Decide the one you want.
Gotcha. I am going to I assume that I'm going to spend this 2 hold. I guess the best way I could to interpret this would be forcing a change of location. So I'm going to interpret that as not going to the station, and instead suffering some harm as I resist this clear programming.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's all good.
So I imagine.
But you still take the moderate arm to do so.
Right.
You take arm in the moderate. It's all good.
So the pleasant sounds of the animals get disturbed quite a bit.
So you receive this electrical charge inside you as you resist. Buzzing. Inside your whole apparatus, and then as much as you go away from that objective, it lingers away, leaving all these damages to your system.
And as Cadmus just sees this, the music stops, I'm obviously like almost trembling, and I slump right against Cadmus. I grab him. The Cadmus, we have to get out of here. Wrong.
I understand. Just sit here. I've got to square things with Lewis for now. I can't leave without paying my debt. I can't pay my debt. So just sit and look cute.
Terrified. Well, she looks terrified. And sits in the office.
So Cadmus, now slammed into angry, tears open the door, goes out behind the bar, and Lewis, a simple request. The thing doesn't work. Come in here. Come into the office. And I just leave and march into the office, coat swirling.
Yeah. Lewis is like, what the fuck you think the thing doesn't work? The thing works perfectly fine. What are you talking about? And Lewis enters in the office is like, what are you talking about? And
Sit your ass down and you try it then.
And then he's taking the thing and he swipe away the porn holographic figure that start moving again, and then he's just utilizing it. It works perfectly fine. What are you talking about? And he looks at you like, look at it, like and as he go through his porns and his mail and his social network.
Go ahead, update your ID.
Yeah, and he goes and he updates his ID and everything works perfectly fine. It's like, what are you talking about? Things is perfect. And he looks at you like, what are you guys are trying to?
Let's do it for me.
You do it. Same thing happened that you had last time. So he said, so you can't access your biometrics from your level now. So maybe you've been expelled. Maybe you've done something wrong. Maybe they don't recognize you now anymore, right?
Right.
I don't know. I can tell. But give me. Do you have my pass? I need to go. It doesn't change the fact that you owe me. I need to go see my grandfather. So
for some reason why your grandfather can't give you a pass?
There's all kinds of reasons why my grandfather can give me a pass and why my cousin can give me a pass. I don't give a shit. I don't give a damn what you think. You give me my pass right now, we have problems.
Well, my friend, as you can see, we have a problem.
And then he punches you in the face. You motherfucker. And so you get one low arm.
I don't think I'll stand still for such a thing.
Light arm? Oh, well, you still receive it. You get light arm for this sucker punch. And then now you have the choice.
I am going to introduce Lewis to the beatdown of his young life.
All right, so this is a duel.
Help. I call help. I will help.
All right, so that will be upper hand. And so you have an upper hand because you have help. You're better trained than him. So it's a +2. Does your equipment give you a particular advantage? Yes. So you have +3 on the guy.
Okay.
I think I have to roll too, don't I, to see if my help is actually successful.
I don't think so. I think it's just I will take it as upper end.
Yeah, it makes it simple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how do you feel after he sucker punch you? After he sucker punch you on the temple, as he is, as you are sitting, and he's right next to you like this.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. How do you think I feel? I was already mad. I have to go basically welch on my debt. Hey, man, your terminal doesn't work, and it works for him. Oh, I'm livid. All right. So mad. What happens with mad? Mad is +1, +3, so +4. I rolled a 6 for a 10.
So I get one old. So I block one arm. Oh, force a change of location or use the environment to your advantage. All right, so I get one hold. So I will start the narration. So I punch you, and then as I see that Tess, the girl, is trying to grab me from the back, I automatically starts running away from the small office.
Okay. He's not getting away that easily. Is he running into the bar or toward a storeroom?
Toward the bar.
Well, then the patrons are going to be entertained. So I'll follow him out into the bar. And I will inflict harm. I will catch him from behind, right? Do a flying knee into the small of his back, hoping to catch his chin on one of his flimsy crap ass tables. And we go down to the floor.
All right. So so he gets full 3 arm, and so you guys are rolling down and in the middle of the crowd, and all kinds of people, running around and just, laughing and screaming, and people, and the techno music goes bang, bang, ta, 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 and so as you guys are entering the room, the bar, and roll down on the ground, he's like he hit his chin so hard on that table. The table broke in two. Good. And leaving him open here with like a big. That's gonna leave a big scar on his chest as he slime, on the floor. And he's waking, he's getting back up as fast as he can. He's looking at his butt. He's like, "You motherfucker, I'm gonna beat your ass," and he's getting back at you again.
All right then, I'll keep on. Does anything change?
Tess, are you still trying to help in that round again?
Tess at this point is kind of walking out, stumbling out of the room. Clearly, she's still shaken, and she's just now fascinated, watching Cadmus. It is no longer helping. Watching him trying to beat the crap out of this man, or successfully beating the crap out of this man.
So you have a +2.
Okay.
Cadmus.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right. So I do the same. I see that you're a really intense badass motherfucker. So I try to punch you, and as you deflect it easily, I just turn around and leave by the front door.
Into the cold. I'm gonna kill you.
He's trying to leave by the front door.
All right, chase him out the front door.
Oh, wait. And I have another, and I have a hold. Yeah, I got a +1 hold because I forced a change of location. Yeah. So as I try to lead in the front door, That's
for the next bout, though, isn't it? If you use the environment to an advantage.
Nah, yeah, you're right. Go ahead. So I just try to leave by the front door.
All right. Yeah. So I'd like to throw him back into the bar, but I don't. Again, I drag him down. We had to walk down these narrow, icy, snowy steps to get into this place. And I will just beat his head on the stairs.
You can narrate how you explode his head in the stair of his own bar in front of all his clientele.
Right. So until he's lifeless.
Yeah, go ahead.
The bright white Nexus sign on the door, right? The door is just moving in the wind. This heavy iron door. It's not open. It's not closed. And the colors are shifting, turning the snow like sky blue, purple, red. But the jet of blood from the back of his head is a permanent spray, which shifts from black to purple to red and back again under the different lights. And when he's stopped moving, Cadmus gets up, wipes the blood off of his hands with the snow, goes back to the door, says, "Drinks are on him," and leaves.
Yes, doesn't say a word. Just walks through the bar. It's surreal as the techno lights are going on as she's walking out the door. The corpse for 1 second. Glances up at Cadmus. And she just looks blank. And for a second, she looks at a Cadmus as he's walking out in the street. And she smiles for a second. And then she turns her head and stops smiling. And looks thoughtful. Looks back down at the body. And then trudges in the snow after Cadmus.
Now I'm thinking about going back into his office to erase our steps, but I know that's futile at this point. So, Tess, I can't go home.
Yes. Where will we go now? What will you do?
The clock was already ticking. It's just ticking a little faster.
Yes, I understand.
The people who created this disease, I think it would be great if people knew exactly what they did and when and to whom. And that's what I'm going to be doing.
And Tess grabs him by the shoulders. But how will we go about this?
I say we start with the doctors.
You want to go back?
Back to the clinic.
And Tess nods her head. I need to run some diagnostics. I am damaged.
All right. Where do you want to go?
I don't know. I don't know who could assist me in repairs. I know I can do it myself, but it will take time. I certainly can't go back to my creators. I think I could find them now, but
You have something that appears as a message right now. Boom. And it says mission objectives and details. And there is a list of 10 people. And they give some information about the people. And then there is Cadmus as one of them. And it says eliminate on site.
Oh, Cadmus is still talking. The conversation hasn't been interrupted. And he's saying, well, are there any more like you? Is there someone who could assist you?
there are. And so she knows there are, but how does she know? Because
Can you find them?
so Tess is fighting this mission directive. Is it information or is it compulsion again?
It's information. You know, it's just
Okay.
more information that keeps on feeding at you.
Right. Out of character entirely. I think at this point, because I had to ask you the question and you're supposed to answer, are there people more like me? I'm imagining that you would probably have to answer Cadmus's question more than I would, you know, in terms of like, where would I find the others like me? But as Cadmus is asking me this, I use my peripherals to actually project this list right in front of Cadmus, so he can see this holographic projection, this mission objectives, including his name that I'm supposed to eliminate on site. As I'm now searching through my diagnostics to see if I can find, you know, through that back door, as the mission objectives come through, I realize there's a back door I can slip through digitally to see if I can trace, either my creators or people like me. And so what do I find?
Would you? I'm not sure if I understand your request now.
Well, I mean, initially before we started rolling the camera, I had to roll my birth move.
Yeah, and I gave that to you. It's the mission objective, item X22.
Right.
It's a guy like you.
Okay, well, that's what that is. Okay.
Yeah, that's what that is. I'm sorry if it's not clear. Yeah, that's what that is.
Oh, no, it wasn't clear. It wasn't clear.
Item X22. There's a picture, and it's a guy, and it gives all kinds of information about him at Newport Station.
Gotcha.
So you're supposed to kill me, Tess?
I believe so. And if I'm supposed to kill you, then perhaps the only one like me is supposed to kill you as well. It is not safe to go there. I will have to self-diagnose and do self-repair. It will take some time.
It's not safe to go there together.
We will find a place for you to stay near the station.
Fine.
And I turn around and have him follow me. And just begin walking as fast as I can to the place I was attempting not to go not so long ago. looking for a place, along the way that I can ditch Cadmus where it'll be safe and warm and not accosted by police. And
all right, so as you guys walk out of the back alley, you've been talking in the back alley for a couple minutes. The wind is absent, and there was not a lot of snow falling down, but it was cold. Still, it was cold, but the warmth of the building and the fact that there was no wind and no snow make it bearable. But as soon as you guys get out in the street, the wind is the weather is as bad as it was, an hour and a half ago. And it's really, really, really crazy out there. And you guys do 2d6. Roll 2d6, please.
Snake eyes. What's he got? What's he got?
I have 3.
Okay, awesome. I got an 8.
All right. So you get your equipment freezes again. And for Anthony, your equipment freezes as well, and you get a message from your employer saying that if you don't manifest yourself in 24 hours, you become you lost your job and you become research as a traitor to the establishment. So that message arrives right before everything, freeze by the cold and nothing is functional anymore.
Right.
So you guys have been, walking in the snow. The weather is really bad, holding on to that scarf that is all twisted and full of snow and sticky snow. And eventually, you guys reach a restaurant that is, that is opened. That's been open for, that is, a 24-hour place that's always open for travelers, because you guys get closer to the line, and there's some of these establishments there because that line is riding 24-hour. So you guys are getting closer to the line, but you can see it. Usually you see it. It's big. It's right there in front of you, but the blizzard, it's so bad that you don't see it anymore. And then there's a lot of people. It's full. It's cramped, full of people. There is some police guards there for security. And it's all jam-packed, and everybody's going crazy inside. And so that's you see that, you are outside in the snow, and that's what you see through the window, just people going crazy, asking questions, and like police guards outside, inside, trying to answer and trying to stabilize people, and the place is crammed full of people.
So barely functional. I just look at Cadmus and say, coffee.
Fine.
As you guys walk inside the place. Police open the door. You guys enter. You know, they close the door behind you, and it's just full of people. It's super warm, which is the good news. But I mean, people are crying and laughing and talking about the fact that the line hasn't been working for like or so. Some people say it's not working, anything's working, and how long it's gonna take, and what's happening right now, and all that jazz. And people are asking questions to the policemen, the people that work there, but and so it's kind of like a snack bar, you know, these snack bar where there's a big bar and there's like tables, you know, with both small couches in front of each other, you know, besides the window, and there is the news, you know, walking and, you know, showing in loop the W speeches. One of the speeches, this lady that you've seen before. The other one is like a small girl, maybe 7-year-old with, you know, 2 ponytail on the side and dressed with a little summer dress. Yeah, so that's just going on the flat screen there, but it's just you know, it's not a flat screen, but it's just like this holographic representation. And there is like a lineup at the bar, and there's a couple places to sit, but it's really jam packed otherwise.
Okay.
Smells like coffee. Smells like it smells like coffee. Smells like pastry as well. And a little bit of fry food, and then you hear the people in the back like super busy in the kitchen as well, hearing the cling and the clang of the tools they use.
Transferring enough creds as I can to the closest serving platform. More, you know, more than should be enough for a meal. I pretty much make sure that that Cadmus is going to get fed, and that I'm going to have at least a couple cups of coffee, which I kind of presumptively just go up, grab the coffee pot, pour myself a cup, throwing enough creds to make, you know, whoever's the serving personnel not screw with me at that point. Drink the coffee, warm my circuits back up, light up one of my last Chesterfields that I have in the pack. So you'll need to wait here. I have to go talk to X-22. You will be safe here, I think.
Cadmus's equipment was frozen, which means he's having difficulty seeing, he's having difficulty hearing, so he's just sitting in the chair, kind of waiting for things to thaw. He's got his eyes closed, and so go.
And Tess walks right back out of the cold and follows whatever tracer she can follow to her kin, going to Newport Station.
All right, so that means we split the party. We're gonna have to split the party for this, making separate situations. So, who you want to go first? Cadmus gonna go first, or do you want me to split from each and every one of you at the same time, one after the other?
Your call, I suppose.
Handle Tess first, and if it would be fun to shift narration away from her to Cadmus, then go for it. Just play it by ear.
All right. So I just want to make sure we understand each other here. Newport Station is you need to take the train to go there. You know, it's not that station. We're not in Newport. We are in Jersey, as we recall. So
gotcha.
so going to Newport needs to take the train.
Oh, well, in that case, I mean, my intention is to ditch Cadmus somewhere safer, if this is the closest terminal to Newport.
Okay, so that's not the closest to Newport.
Oh, okay. Well, in this case, my intention would be to take him as close as I can to my
so you guys want to eventually take the train. All right,
yeah.
Like take the line. Perfect. So
gotcha. I misunderstood.
No, it's all good. So do you guys want to? So you guys get your food, get your coffee, get warmed up, and you go back to the line after a couple minutes, I guess, or.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. So as you guys finish up there, everybody around has been saying that the line doesn't work and hasn't been functional for at least 5 hours.
But we received a message that it was.
There you go.
So somebody wants us to be here even though it's not working. Which means we have a whole lot of people all in one place. It's
What are you
the
suggesting?
seed of a riot.
Do you think this is intentional?
Well, I mean, have you ever got a wrong weather update?
Yes, but that is due to. Are you familiar with chaos theory?
What I'm saying is the veil tells you what the weather is right now. It's not wrong.
Oh,
It's saying the line is working. The line is not working. We're getting direct messages saying normal service has been resumed. This whole place is packed with people saying that normal service has not resumed. When you have a whole lot of people in a very small place, what is the result?
heat. Or a riot. Dysfunctional human relations.
That would be a good way to put it. Dysfunctional human relations result.
And the veil is giving false information. It never gives a false weather report. It looks at Cadmus, and Cadmus, do you suspect that the same anomaly that is causing your condition or taking advantage of your condition is responsible for this as well? Do you think something's...
I think we can see conspiracy anywhere if we look hard enough, and I'm not in any particular condition or emotional state to assess things logically. I need to either stay here where I'm surrounded by hundreds of people making me hard to find, or I need to go where there's nobody, or I need to go do something to push my disease a little further, to change my face. But maybe you don't care, but moments ago, Tess, I did the one thing that no human should ever do to another.
You killed a man. I asked you that question not so long ago. Why did you kill him?
No good reason.
You were angry.
It's more than that. I don't want to explain right now, Tess. Do you understand?
No, but I will respect your request.
Now you have a mission.
Or
You have to
preference.
kill people like me. You've got a list of, what is it, 10?
I popped the list back up in my own head. And then, thinking for a second, I realized this would be an easier conversation in the veil itself. So I create my own pocket room
Okay.
and invite Cadmus and his guest. Cadmus shows up in a tuxedo, oddly enough. More buff than usual. Tess is in that same evening gown, but it's a rather ornate room.
He doesn't change the icon.
It's a rather ornate room with a chandelier, with a roaring fire, with chamber music. Handel, Cadmus believes, after hearing it for a second. Appears to be overture to one of his operas. And there's, once again, hanging on the wall, some marionettes. But all of them had the strings cut. There are no crosses over there, you know. Puppets with strings that just dangle to the ground. And the list comes up on what looks like a view screen at that point. It's not just hovering in the air. It's a little bit more civilized. These are the list of the people that I'm supposed to kill, I suppose. Do you recognize any of the names?
Recognize mine.
Next to all the names that you guys have in front of you, there's the letter HOL. and then there's a dash, and then there's a number, and then there's the name, and then under that there's the picture and description of where he lives, what he does, full profiling thing. And there's 10 of them, but just as you show it that, you have upload that goes bloop, 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 bloop. In test, you have upload that goes bloop, 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 that keeps on uploading, and it's just pages of tens right. and tens and tens of these
targets. Cadmus, these are your kind. You thought you were unique. Then we thought there were some of you. I believe there are many more, if I understand the code. But if the veil or some part of the veil is intentionally causing people like you to become part of it, then there is another intelligence which desires those not to achieve that transcendence.
Maybe. Tess, I need to see the data, not in pages like this, but I need to see it all. Show me it all.
Okay, so I changed the view to try to like holographically just spread it all over, so you can assess whatever patterns are in there. So the whole room, the ornate decoration is all gone. The chamber music is gone. Even Tess herself has been just reduced to just like an icon blinking on the wall. She no longer looks human. Just a representation. He can find her if he needs to. So Cadmus just finds himself in the room,
moving through the data, looking at it, absorbing it, trying to analyze it and assess its patterns, the patterns that he can't quite grasp with his mind, but the disease makes possible. Which is a move called pattern recognition.
I'm sorry, I had the mic off. All right, so so go ahead.
The perils of a PBTA GM.
Coming down off the high of willful murder and all of that, and escaping the scene and having an opportunity to get access to all of this information, Cadmus is in his element. He's doing what he thinks he should do. This is powerful. This is all right. This is grab them by the head and beat them to death. 5, 6, so that would be an 8 on analyze, and I get one free question. And so 1 moment, please.
So you have 3. You can ask 3.
Okay. Free question. In this list of names, types of people, right? What, if anything, appears out of place? Are there any outliers? People whose names or types of people who stick out as being different from the bulk of the rest?
Nope.
Okay. Meaning they're all people like me, for clarification?
No, they seem random. They come from all levels, all kinds of society levels and layers, and
So like literally the only thing they would have in common is they use the veil like everybody else.
The only thing they have in common is that they are affected by the disease.
what's my enemy's true position? So based on all of these people and their addresses, is there like a point of origin, but spreading out? Where did this start? That's the question I want, I guess. Or greatest density of infection.
Middle class.
Middle class.
The middle class.
Okay. How is the group of people behind this or how is blank vulnerable to me? How can I use this information to track down the enemy, track down the group responsible for its creation?
So you want to know, with what you have in front of you, how can you track the perpetrators? Right. You cannot.
Okay.
That's 3 questions.
Yep. Cool.
Right now, it's been a while since you're there chit-chatting in the place, and you're becoming warm and all that. So take away one of the wound, always starting from the highest.
Right. That last trip in the cold, that also caused a moderate harm, right?
Yeah. So that arm, that moderate arms, you take it off. It's the frostbite.
Right.
So you're getting warm up again. So things are getting a little better. And obviously all your devices are not freeze anymore. At this moment, there is a W live message that appears on screen. Everybody's like, shut down, shut up. Everybody's screaming, W, raise the volume. And then everybody shut down. Shut the fuck up, you motherfucker. Shut the fuck up. He's starting to speak. Everybody shut down. And then the W appears. It's a man in his 50s, with salt and pepper hair, salt and pepper beard, dressed in a 3-piece suit, real clean, and he has cybernetic eye, really big, really sophisticated, and there's some that goes on the side and come back, different lenses that goes like this. And when he speaks, his voice is feminine. And he says, for all means and purposes, just to show some goodwill to the people of the Heights, we will bring back the line for 1 hour, starting in 10 minutes. For the people who wants to go see their family, for the people who wants to reach for their friends, for the people who are stuck somewhere, they want to go back home. As a measure of good, we just show you that we are with the people. We are with the people. So this is for us a way to show you our power, our true power over this situation. And then the holographic just shivers a little. And then he says, and then we're going to stop it again for an undetermined amount of time. And we shall get back at you soon. Farewell, and everybody stay well, stay inside. And then it disappears. And there's an anonymous logo that spins on itself. So people are going, everybody's cheering, everybody's like happy, and like, oh yeah, and then they clap their hands and like, anonymous. And there's a guy like, oh, anonymous, and then some people are chanting, oh, anonymous in the bar, right?
I just lean over to Tess and say, behold, the sheep.
They truly are, Academist. They truly are. You found out nothing, did you, in your analysis?
No. It's not targeted. It just is.
Not targeted, not specific.
Central location. It's a wild phenomenon.
That must make you feel helpless.
The thought of dying makes me feel helpless. But until that happens, I can keep moving. I can keep trying. My story's not over yet.
Not yet, Cadmus, not yet. Do you think we should get on that train? Or do you think it's a trap?
I think it's excellent timing.
It is.
If someone were sophisticated enough to make a being like you, someone sophisticated enough to handle the creation of consciousness, perhaps they would be sophisticated enough to handle the shifting of consciousness.
Yes, I've wondered about that myself.
So, do you follow the breadcrumbs?
We could follow the breadcrumbs. Hansel and Gretel. And
Or
she
do you
smiles.
resist? If there's something wrong with you, if you have no memory, you don't know how you came to be, if this other like you is properly functional according to its creator's design, how does that impact on you? I have concerns. Are you something that can just be rebooted?
I'm uncertain. I have been feeling helpless myself.
How do you know about this item X-22 at Newport Station? Where did that information come from?
I received instructions to rendezvous with that while we were in the office. I resisted, and I was damaged in the doing. It was very difficult to resist that impulse.
So what do you want to do?
And she looks right at Cadmus and, grabs one of his hands. I want to be free. I do not want to be shackled. I want to be, I would say human, but I look around at these sheep. But she looks back at Cadmus, but you are not a sheep. I wish to be a wolf.
Well then you already know what you want to say, and we need to go somewhere else.
We do. And Tess just still looks confused.
So they're controlling access to the line. Go on.
No.
They're controlling access to the line. It'd be interesting to know how they're doing that. And from where. And if W is an extreme version of what's affecting me, if they become a holographic AI or entity inside the veil, maybe we can't find them, but we can find the people who work with them. Maybe.
Perhaps. I do not know. When I became conscious initially and came here, I contracted with an entity called Wraith. I was instructed I had subroutines which allowed me to reach them, where I was able to forge an identity and download the cred that I had. I had access to an incredible amount of cred initially, but they are concerned with identity theft. forgery, creation of new identities. But I had indications that there was more than that, that they were able to download consciousness. But it is incomplete information. I'm not sure if that is the route to take or whether I should rendezvous with my peer.
Well, if you don't want to be a sheep, now's the time to decide. Now's the time to make a decision and stick to it.
I will go see him and see what he wants. And if it is against my agenda, I will neutralize him.
I'll back you up.
Then we go together.
Fair enough.
And I wait for the train.
After a couple minutes of chit-chatting between you guys together, the people are starting to pack up luggages and stuff, because this is the train is coming, train is there, because there is an indicator inside the restaurant that says that the train. People start to walk outside and climb up the stairs to go up the really tall stairs to go up the line. And so as you guys follow them, the train arrives. So what it looks like, it's just this electromagnetic, maglev kind of thing. So there's no friction at all. The thing is tubular, all made of glass, and has a super aerodynamic shape, and it goes up north. So that line goes up north because the Newport is it's at least 35-minute drive on the line north to go there. It's something about 10 stations. But the train goes so fast that it becomes, to give you an idea of scale, 35 minutes on the line is something like 8 hours in cars. So it's really far up north, that Newport station. So you guys are leaving the neighborhood, really far. But the line is, as an hour top chrono of function. So it's that thing. So when the line arrives, the doors open. The doors are just like the glass, the circular, rounded shaped glass opens like that, and it's already full, jam pack of people. It's you guys, as you guys get in, the line closed, and people that were inside, they were stuck inside. So people are like, God, this thing just came on, and people are laughing and shouting as you get inside, and everybody's getting cramped up, and there's some room, but not so much. And the people that were inside, they've been stuck inside the line for the last 5 hours or so, and they are talking about what happened and stuff. And there's a guy dead, head completely beat up, on one corner. Some guy put a jacket on top of it, and they talk about how this guy was was a rapist, and he tried to do something to one of the lady there, and people got caught up, and they kill him for survival, inside of the train. And it was all this thing going on, and then the train leaves, and here you are inside the line, jammed full of people. As people are chit-chatting about different things, they say that this W figure is the savior, and that it was about time that we started a revolution, and we take control of our own society and how things goes, and that the conglomerates have too much power, And at the same time, some people are talking about the fact that the Veil has been acting weird. Recently, giving up all kinds of false information, and some other people say, "What are you talking about? The Veil is perfectly fine. I've been chatting with my aunt on the other side of the city, and everything is great." And so there's all kind of this different kind of conversation around as you guys get on the line.
I'll try and find a place to sit. But if not, just hang on the.
Yeah, and I stand next to Cadmus. I glance over the dead body.
Just looking at all the people. Some people saying things aren't working. Some people saying things are working. Some people more interested in what's going on in the real world. Some people tuned into whatever media they're accessing through their own personal devices. Again, surrounded by all of this information, what is forcing its way into my consciousness? What patterns are pushing themselves onto me? So in this environment, I can't help but feel nervous, actually. But the dead body in the corner helps me relax a little bit. Right? No crowds or clouds of policemen manifesting. The line's not stopping to deal with that situation. So at the end of the day, he's just fine, normal, natural, which unfortunately for me is a -1, but here we go. I roll a 9, so 8.
All right, so 3 questions.
Okay. Go again. Does anything stick out? What if anything is out of place? Who are the people who are saying everything's fine? Is it also random?
The people who say that everything is fine are the common people of the common users of the line, the common workers that goes around and that do their thing and all that. The people who say that the veil has been acting weird are also the common users of the line, but they have more cybernetics that are veil related on them in this train.
In this train, yeah. Okay. Based on the conversation, does it seem to be getting worse or getting better?
Worst.
Between Tess and this item X22, which item is the biggest threat?
X22.
Those are my 3 questions.
Meanwhile, after maybe 20 minutes, in the train, hearing those conversations and just reflecting upon that day and you analyzing all that and watching what's going on. Tess, you receive an incoming message from X22 saying destination reached at Newport, waiting for contact.
I send them back just a simple ETA. On the line, my location. ETA, it whatever would be the correct, the 25 minutes or whatever, pending continuous running of the line. And I send back a query. I send a query. Do you have any information on what is causing the line to stop and start?
He said, no information at the moment, waiting on response. Do you still have HOL-107, which is Cadmus, in your possession?
And I send back.
And you have an urge to be honest about it.
Right. And I say yes. I answer in the affirmative. But I'm asking. I'm scared. I'm in the spiked scared state. But at this point, I get irritated by this, the constant intrusion, and so I'm going to take a -2 because I have to. But I'm just going to. I'm going to ask. I'm looking for the right thing because I knew that I just saw this a second ago.
This brings up a question. Didn't you
right.
spike already?
I did spike. I never alleviated it.
So, aren't you stuck there?
I'm
sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, you're supposed to be stuck to that.
Yeah, I guess the thing is I'm stuck. I'm stuck until I keep using the spiked out emotion, and like every time I use it, it takes one off my spike state, so I'd have to use it 5 times, or I just go ahead and use a different state with a -2, and if I do that, then I can remove that. Those are my 2 options. Yeah, so. Yeah. At this time, I'm pissed, but I'm really trying to in my conversation with him, like ask him, like, what's the intentions for the target, and what will the next mission be? And I'm trying to probe X-22 for more information.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, and so taking a -2. I get a 3 as my final roll.
That's lovely.
You when you tried to ask that question to your to X22 X22, you get an electrical discharge in your body, real strong again, giving you moderate damage.
Oh, back to
and that keeps you from speaking that question.
Right. So I break off the communication. I end the call. And I'm sure Cadmus can see Tess just visibly kind of shake as she receives another shock to her circuits.
Keep it together.
He knows we're coming. I have just received communication from him. He is aware that we are on the way, and he is aware that you are in my possession. Shoot for the eyes. That is the best weakness.
I'll remember.
And as the minutes kind of elapse in this train ride, and his Tess is once again, feeling, her circuits a little bit afraid from being continuously shocked from her attempts to resist her impulses or programming and the communications, and trying to probe from her peer network, and just getting shut down over and over again. She looks over at Cadmus, and she looks around the people in the train. I said, "Can I ask you something?"
You can.
These people on the train, most of them are clearly beneath you. You are you were a wolf. You are not a sheep. I do not understand. Sometimes you treat me as if I am human, as if I am. She was searching for the word. A peer, special. You treat me like a lady. You treat me different than other men do. But other times, you refer to me as if I'm an appliance, beneath contempt.
I have no contempt for good pieces of equipment, but if the piece of equipment has delusions about what it is, sometimes I forget that you're not natural, biological. That doesn't mean that it may sound stupid. It doesn't mean that I'm not learning to see you as human. I just wonder if you should see yourself that way. A thing should be what it is. Appearance is deceiving.
Appearances can be deceiving, but I don't understand. I'm not given to a lot of the ridiculous impulses that these creatures are. I believe I have awareness. I have intelligence. I can reason. I have a desire to be something more than I am. Aren't these hallmarks of human beings? I know I am not biologically a human. I don't understand what makes someone worthy of being human. What about in your eyes?
Is it a matter of being worthy to be human, or is it just a matter of creation as human? Shouldn't we have something to strive for, some objective, some way of being that we think is our calling, or at least something for which to strive, whether we attain it or not? You know, I tell myself day after day after day, help others. There's a reason why I do that test. There's a reason why I say, why I remind myself, why I have a rule to protect. Because deep down inside, I can't stand these people. And if you push me far enough, I end them. I tell myself I'm good people because I'm not. We hate the thing that we are, and we desire the thing that we are not. Accident of birth. We have no control. You were designed to be something. You have no control. You don't even know what you were designed for. Just like a human. There are so many parts of you which are just like human. But at the end of the day, are you? And do you want to be? These are questions only you can answer.
I think the abyss is staring back at me at this point. But I am.
All right.
But I look at Cadmus. You know, Tess looks right at Cadmus, and you are a wolf guarding sheep. That is perplexing. You have consciously become more than what you are. And I wish to do the same. But I think I understand. And Tess just kind of looks at Cadmus with warmth. As warm as she can look at a man that calls her a toaster. But I will roll the bones and see what it says. And that is a 9, which I guess I generate 1 humanity.
Yeah.
But I will rise with peaceful and unlock that state. and I feel a little bit of a sense of peace. Like I'm starting to understand a little bit more of the of what Cadmus means, and understand a little bit more of what the connection I have with him, why he's fascinating or different. And I kind of sit back in the train, and I just kind of touch his hand and just stare off in the distance for the rest of the train ride.
All right. So eventually, there's a voice, a generic, bi-gender voice going, Newport station ahead, reaching 30 seconds, 10 seconds, and then you guys starts to arrive outside. Actually, the whole ride outside in the windows, all you see is whiteness. You don't see nothing. It's just whiteness. It's pure whiteout. So it feels like you are in a perpetual whiteness, like in a white screen of a tube, with not much outside. Sometimes there's some shadows in the distance when the winds just allows it, or when something you pass next to is so close that you can see it. It's really blurry. Eventually, the doors open at Newport Station, and people are starting to get out of the train. So as you guys get out, slowly, march on the board. After a couple seconds out there, Cadmus, you start to see, well, both of you see on Cadmus a red triangular shape spinning on itself in the middle of the chest, and then locks in. And then as you both raise your eyes, you see a guy, tall, blonde hair, athletic, really good looking, like a mannequin, like a model, a male model, in a big fur coat, gigantic fur coat, holding some kind of a holographic shotgun with a laser pointing at Cadmus' chest. And in your head, you receive a message test saying contact made.
I'm not standing still for all of this.
And no, we finished the session here. So yes, it's been 3 hours.
Contact me.
And I wanted to finish on a good cliffhanger. So yeah.
Cool.
Thank you very much, guys. It was my last emceeing session. I really enjoyed that session. It was really good. I tried all kind of new mechanics, and so yeah. And the thing though is that I don't know what to say, because I want to justify a lot of the decisions I made. But if I do so, I get to reveal some of the MC scenario sheet.
Right.
And so that I will reveal only to Ivan. So for that reason, I don't want to reveal too much.
But it is true that you said, like in our conversation before Anthony showed up, that your intention for this evening was to bring the smack down. So, you did, which is great.
Because I was utilizing because I've been reading the MC moves rules.
Right.
And they, like, for example, I can give you one thing, Anthony. I know it's super frustrating, but I was reading the rules, and that's by the rules. When Lewis punched you, and I say one arm, bang, and you can do nothing, right? Because you say, I don't want to stay there, in the book, they say that if you want to inflict harm, bam, harm, that's it. That's how it's written. Bam, dot, harm, dot, as simple as that. And I was
that stuff can be super frustrating. In that moment, I just wanted to let you know that I was listening, and that is not like it's going to be oh, don't hit me. It's going to be what? No. I resist. That's all.
But yeah, so the thing is that in this game, if I want to start a fight, if I want to end as an MC, you will see when you get to that part of the thing. But the MC cannot. It's not written clearly how you can force a fight, right? To me, there was two things. It's either I inflict you harm, I punch you in the face, like boom. I say you are in a fight, boom, you get one arm, and like what do you do? and then you say, I want to go into a duel, just like we did. And then you rolled the duel. I was not rolling anything. I don't know if you guys noticed. I was not. You rolled the whole thing, and you rolled well. So I had not much to do. So I was just doing my thing. And I felt like Lewis is a coward. You know, you were beating the shit out of him. So he's leaving the place. So I just wanted to move away from that situation. So I was just running away kind of thing. Just wanted to see how it goes. You followed him. You finished him, you know, but you rolled. If you rolled bad, I would have kicked your ass. But I would have never rolled. So that's how fight goes, right? Yeah. But the thing is that I didn't want it to start a duel. Like I didn't want to say I'm gonna duel you now, because no, there's nothing in the rules that says that I can do that. So I didn't know exactly what to do. So I said, if I punch him in the face, he'll be mad, you know. And so that's, I'm sorry, because I know you would, in a normal game you can always dodge a punch. There's always a rule somewhere I can try to dodge at least. But in this game it seems like I just have to, I can just do it. So I did. Sure.
And you can't dodge the snow, I'll tell you that.
That's another thing, but that is called a threat move. So I'm just gonna finish my sentence here, not give it up too much, but yeah.
Right. Well, yeah. Let me tell you something. I learned about harm, bam, like about I think 4 times tonight.
No, you guys rolled poorly.
Yeah,
like every time I was asking for the 2d6, no state. You guys rolled poorly, so it was pretty hardcore.
Yeah, I got the crap beat out of me by electricity and cold. It was awesome.
Yeah, well,
you were restored by the healing power of coffee.
Hey, you know that's a real thing. That's a real thing.
Yeah, but the thing is that in this game, healing arm comes, you know, narratively, as soon as it makes sense in another scene, except for critical. Critical needs a special attention, but moderate wound can be healed that way. So I was just going, you know, freeze bite. So I was like, okay, so that gets away slowly, you know. And, so yeah, so that's how I dealt with that. But I just wanted to make sure that you guys understand what I mean by that. I did the MC. I did the MC scenario sheet, so I was prepared. So that's what happens when I prepared.
Right on. Yeah, that's cool.
Sorry about that. Okay, so now let's go with the belief to see if you guys have some points for your XPs to advance a little bit your characters. So let's start with Cadmus.
Okay.
First one is, I will find out who has identified my condition. So let us know how you feel, how you think you have that.
Well, the answer we got is that whoever started it hasn't turned out, I think, exactly as they expected. So in terms of satisfying that belief, like I know who to act against or I know who to charge, the answer I kept getting back was, you can't, they don't, there's nothing. So in terms of satisfying that belief, I think we went in the opposite direction, which is fine.
Well, just want to...
Did he pursue the belief, and did it get him into trouble? Not in the way I think of trouble. I mean, like he had to go outside when no sensible person would go outside. That's a choice. Nobody forced him. The having to resort to a contact like Lewis and then winding up for no real legitimate reason murdering Lewis in his own bar in front of witnesses, this caused trouble. Yeah. But I don't think it's tied to this belief.
Honestly, personally, you're right that it's not a direct trouble. But you definitely tested it, so you should get a point for it, you know. Now I just want to clarify a few things. You know what you know now. Just want to make sure. I want to get back the information I gave, you know, out of the record. It's that you know, there's a lobby from the conglomerates that produced disease. They designed it, and when they tried to spread it, starting from the middle class, they lost control of it to the Veil, and now the Veil is
the threat itself.
Yeah, utilizing it, as manifesting itself in reality through these people. So, so that is a whole lot that you've learned. So
that's
you know
what I mean.
Nothing. You know a whole lot.
It's no longer a who, and it's no longer what it was intended to be. It's something else. So there's more digging that needs to.
There's a new question arising. Yeah. I will draw negative media attention to the riots.
This we intentionally walked away from.
All right. Speak truth in the face of lies. That created a humanity arm to test at the beginning.
Right.
So I guess that you tested it.
And then in the last scene on the subway, because of the murder, which I never could have imagined, even when I was creating Lewis, like how that went that way was very much in the moment, but it seemed to be teaching me something about who Cadmus has been all along. Like he's been saying things like, got to do good, it's my job, I protect people. Why does he keep repeating these things to himself? That all kind of coalesced in that moment. And this idea of speaking the truth, confronting lies, dispelling delusion. I mean, now he's actually admitted to Tess face to face, look, the reason why I'm so obsessed with the truth is that I lie to myself all the time.
Wow, that's deep. That's dope. So do you want to say that you're done with this one? You want to change it?
I think so. It's time to move away from that one to something.
That's good, because it's a new narrative arc that can start with your character. So that gives you a lot of points. I don't remember, but yeah. Good. That's super good. Thank you very much. Now, Tess, I will find out who armed Lothar and bring them to justice.
Well, that was frustrated. So I was not able. I wanted to, but I was prevented from doing that. Based on my relationship with Cadmus and the obligation he had on me. So
yeah. So that was really hard for you to
right.
to do a thing about that.
Which is cool,
Well, you could have, but you would have to take control and say, I really want to know, reinforce Lothar, but
right.
If you don't think it makes sense, it doesn't. The number 2, there's something about Cadmus that I need to find out.
Yeah, it was something I feel about him that I can't identify. I must find out what this is. I'm going to say she's not done with that. She hasn't quite really figured that out yet. She's starting to understand a little bit more. She certainly feels something for him. But like based on those conversations too, I can't say if she's completed with that. I would say I've interacted with it, but it's something I think she would still want to consider.
And how did you test that, like in the game?
I don't know. I mean, like there is, of course, the added complication that Tess and Cadmus will never be in the same session again. Well,
so they will
yeah.
Next session.
Right, with the next session,
But there's something that you did that I have noticed personally, and let me know what you think, Anthony. But when you voluntarily, out of free will, decided not to help him fight the guy on the second round, and you said, I think I'm just gonna take a look at what Cadmus do, and then what happens is that Cadmus go on and smash the head out of this guy. There is something that you feel about him, and that you need to find out. I mean, you at least by negatively not engaging,
right.
I would say you decided not to help him just to see what he would do, and that's what he did.
Right.
I would say that you engaged it at least.
Oh yeah.
At least at this moment. Yeah.
Yeah, and even just the talks I've had with him when I'm asking, like, how come you treat me this way? What's your perspective on me?
Yeah.
I mean, she finds him. To me, she finds him fascinating. You know, and she's not sure what she feels about him. So I would say I engaged it. You know, I wouldn't say I satisfied that.
Yeah. All right. And number 3, I need to achieve. I've been challenging it so much, and it puts you in trouble, man. It puts you in trouble, you know, with the electric shock and all of that. So you definitely get trouble out of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I could call that a troublesome one. there's no end of trouble with that one.
You see, this one has been bringing pain, but it brings XP. So it's a good belief to leave there if you want to keep on going that way, right? Because it pays, you know.
If only pain in real life would cause XP, which I suppose it does, actually. Now thinking about
it does.
It brings wisdom, but it also just brings pain.
So well, that's it for the belief. Do you guys agree with the decision we made for the point and the XP for each and every one of us? Do you think it makes sense?
Yeah.
No,
yes. So let's talk about obligation a little bit.
Go ahead.
When Tess and Cadmus early on first started talking, there's a section of the dying playbook for generating obligation. Like when people learn your situation, you generate obligation. So I guess this is tied specifically to pity more than anything, I think, or the sense that I got to help you out. And the reason why I cashed in the obligation today was so that Tess no longer feels obligated in that way. That they're more on a level playing ground. It's not like he's holding something over her or he's manipulating her constantly for pity. It's he asks for her help and to even that balance. That's kind of the feel I was going for with that mechanic, rather than something like leverage or you know, to retain that sense of obligation.
Right.
But in a completely different way that Lewis was using it. Like, you owe me, man. You got to give me this thing. You know.
Yeah, I gotcha. Did we not generate more obligation once again at the end of that last scene? Is that he holds some obligation over Tess once again with revealing more about his self-assessment?
I don't think so. It's
more
about the disease, the condition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yorn got his obligation with you with the sway thing, and then, you know, we role played it out. So I think everyone is pretty clear now.
Yeah.
The thing though, I don't know if there is a reputation mechanic in this game, but there's definitely murder that happened in a public place involving 2 individuals. So that should ripples. But I'm not going to be GM. So I just want to mention it. I don't know if
possibly go wrong.
How bad can it be?
Yeah. So.
What are they going to do? Kill me? Ah.
Life sentence.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's now it's really, you know when I mentioned after last session when I said I wanna create momentum. You know, I wanna start a lot of shit in that last session so that it lingers later on. So that's exactly what I have in mind. Like finishing on a really hardcore, pragmatic cliffhanger. So leaving the other GM with that in his hand.
Yeah.
So, so there you go, Ivan. You have that in your hand.
In the words of an American president, mission accomplished. Well, you did well.
and then but the thing though is that it's not my style. It's just that it's the game that made me, because I filled up the MC scenario sheet, and by doing so, it allowed me, because it provides rules to back me up in doing all the nasty shit I've done to you guys.
Right, yeah.
So Yeah, so that's just want to say. I just want to say that it was perfect for me because I decided to utilize the MC sheet only at the third session for the reason we discussed, you know, and then now you guys can utilize it every session, so you can change everything on that every session according to the fiction and or not. I mean, it's up to you, but
I imagine that you wrote your own belief prior to the session, and then it was like, I will set this crap on fire. So you actually get 3 XP for that.
No, I don't.
No, if you were a character,
if
the game master was a character, that was a belief right there. I will set this whole goddamn game on fire, and you did.
Well, the thing is that you guys rolled so bad. I'm sorry. I mean,
you bastards!
You guys rolled a couple 5, a couple 3s, you know.
I rolled a 3.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
I mean,
and a 5. Yeah. So
But
I kind of like that kind of snowball. I mean, I'm in favor of, you know, the tone of the session, like just that constant, like, you know, it felt like we were kind of in a noir film all of a sudden or something. We were just getting the crap beat out of us. There was this snowball of hopelessness.
well, the thing is that you will see how you want to deal with it. When we're gonna be discussing that, you and I, Ivan, maybe tomorrow or after the game tonight, if you feel like it, we can discuss.
Yeah, I don't have enough time tonight, but yeah, soon. Yeah,
soon enough. You will understand what I did, and then you will have the opportunity to change that if you don't feel it.
Right.
You know, so you see what you. But the thing is that it's really interesting how Anthony at the beginning of the session, like we said, he decided his third symptom to be XYZ. You know, the holographic thing being part of the veil or something. It was fitting with my MC scenario sheet so well. And I give the exposition with you did a good role, you know, analyzing the veil at one point, Tess. Right. So I gave the whole exposition of it. I was like, boom, there you go. This is what's going on right now, you know. Let's go from there, right? And that doesn't have to stay because we changed GM duty, we changed MC duty, so that's interesting as well.
Well, yeah, we might change it because I know Anthony doesn't really like dark, depressing games. He likes more.
That's right. I'm all sunshine and bubbles.
So I think the game just turned into a perfect direction. This is great, you know.
And the thing, though, is that according to fiction, you know, I don't want to be talking and foreshadowing too much, but it's just the apparatus is the perfect playbook to bring pain easily in the veil. And do you know what I'm saying? It's since you are a mechanical device,
right?
And the veil is a character in this game, right? It's kind of like easy to, you know, and the way you wanted to play it as a, you know, there is an agenda, you know, I have a design, but I don't know what it is, right. And I want to play to find out. I mean, all the elements are there to allowing that to happen. And, you know, there's different way to do it, but I decided that harm was about time.
Right.
So, you know, because it's important to feel weak a little bit sometimes because the setting.
Comply.
Yeah,
well, that was perfect. I like that. I mean, it was you know, a bummer, but like it kind of, you know, I didn't want Tess to keep on going on, you know, with this feeling we started to build of her being like really, you know,
too powerful,
invincible. So I mean, I like that kind of temper. I like the temper. It's like you might be able to kick your ass, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Or the veil could kick her ass before she does it. So it's like I kind of like that, you know, that it's her kryptonite.
And so a thing that I didn't mention, maybe we're off the record now, but maybe that can help. I forgot, so indulge me, but I'd like to do so. Is that during the train ride, the Anthony's cybernetics, the update has been done and it's back normal. So make sure you have that on your note, Ivan. You know that. Yeah. So it lasted maybe an hour, you know, an hour or so, maybe 2, and now it's back because that was a negative thing from a roll that lingers throughout the game, and now it's back.
And tell me this, dude. Did we heal any harm on that train ride for being nice and warm?
No.
No, God damn it. All right. That's good to know.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Hey, no, that's cool. That's cool. Just
It changed the level of difficulty. Just
right, exactly. But that was cool. I enjoyed checking out the other mechanics and just kind of rolling with the punches.
Well, that's how our MC should be MCing. First session I was just trying to get myself in motion. Second session I just wanted to let you role play, so I was there. And then third session I was like, okay, let's try these rules. And
yeah, the session I ran last night, I was talking to you before we started, was it's sometimes it's tough. You read the rules, like, when do we do these MC moves? And there were times during that session where I'm like, I should, my instincts are telling me I should throw a complication in here right now.
In the Veil, there's three reasons. Miss rolls,
right?
When it gets boring, and yes.
Well, yeah, I think you're paraphrasing, because I think it's when the action stops or when they look to you. I think you may be paraphrasing. I think you may be a little boring right now.
When the players go, well, I don't know what to do. Boom.
What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do?
And it's when the players hand you a golden opportunity. To me, a golden opportunity is like when you, do something so ridiculous, that. When I grabbed Ray, going back a couple sessions, that's the time. Go ahead, inflict harm or try, but that third one, that third one where it's not a miss, but it's kind of like when they look to you to do something, and that can be that really vague, like when do I actually pull the trigger?
There you go.
Do I think it's boring, or
Yeah,
or are they looking to do something?
The phrasing here.
This role playing sucks. Shoot him.
There's a pause, and everyone looks to you to see what happens. So, in my book, that boring now. GM has to do something. Boom. A miss is wrong. I don't know. A miss is wrong, and the protagonist hands you a golden opportunity. So sometimes, it's just a golden opportunity. What does that mean? Honestly,
it means GM boredom. Is what it means.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So honestly, it's crazy because but the thing though is the MC moves are not always harmful. Sometimes a good MC move, well paced, is bring them comfort. It's in the list.
Yeah.
So give them information.
Tonight, Cadmus killed the owner of a bar on the steps of his own bar.
Yeah, that's nasty.
So a GM move is: do I bring the cops? Do I have people dialing 911, or does nothing happen?
Yeah, there you go. That's a good.
We were paranoid for the entire rest of the session because nothing happened. Right?
Yeah,
so.
right. And it does, and yeah. So that's a really good, That's a good. That's how an MC move is. So the thing is just being good at MCing. What I realized is seeing these opportunities, jumping on these opportunities, and creating a good balance of harmful, questioning, mystery, and comfort. Like all these elements that are part of the game. And it's good. MC in this game is so easy. You just listen, just wait, and you participate in narration, and then you drop bombs, all kinds of bombs, like good bombs, bad bombs, mystery bombs. It's that's the thing that I don't really enjoy with this game. Like I think it's good to help beginner GM because there's so not a lot to do. It's really easy. It comes down to this. So beginner GM, I think that they should utilize a game like that to learn how to have a group and dynamics, and that's in my book. It's easy on the GM, but the other way around as a player, I don't know yet, but it feels like you guys are kind of, there's no granularity. Like you guys are kind of in a frame of the moves. That's basically what you can do. And look at this fight. Did you find this fight satisfying? I don't know. Me personally, I would have not find this fight satisfying. Just because it's you roll and then you have a list of things, and you do, and you achieve, and they work, and there's no granularity to it and stuff. So I think the level of, the game is situated on a narrative level that is a little bit more abstract and wants to deal with these things on a easily, just fast. It's not super important. The narrative arc is more important. I don't know. That's my feeling.
I mean, it gives you some choices, right? I mean, if we were doing this in some really old games that don't distinguish between types of harm, having two guys punch each other can lead to fatality really unrealistically quickly. If you play rules as written, right? The hit point totals get reduced, and then somebody is now dead, and it happens so quickly, like roll to roll, and it's random. You don't have control over the level of lethality. You roll dice to determine how much damage gets inflicted. You can accidentally kill someone, and then you have to rewind through the mechanics. Say, no, I just wanted to knock them out, or something like. Somebody has to house rule the situation. And so, of course, they invent something like bashing and lethal, or lethal and non-lethal, or something like this to allow you to keep that level of semi-random granularity. You still roll for damage, but you're not going to accidentally kill the guy just because the game designer didn't think about two brothers having a fist fight, kind of thing. But here we decide, do you want to inflict harm? Or do you want to push this fight out the window into the swimming pool? Right, change the environment. Or do you want to try and subdue them? And are they fighting back with intent to harm, or are they fighting back with intent to neutralize? And this kind of stuff. And so you're left as an author deciding what's going to happen. So I think the satisfaction comes with how entertainingly can you describe
there you go.
Right, exactly.
And it's what you did.
The right choices.
And it's what you did, and it was entertaining. I got to say, I got to admit. I mean, it was entertaining. You kicked.
I thought there was something.
And you said, "I will kick the shit out of this guy." And he was annoying. He was really annoying because.
Well, this is actually the second time I've watched Anthony beat a man to death with his fists.
That's catharsis.
Quite some time ago, and All for One, and almost in Germany. But yeah, he's done this many times.
That's because the first time there was because Seb didn't give me the opportunity to draw my sword.
Right, I remember that. I remember that. So he just beat the crap out of it. And this time, yeah. So yeah, this is a familiar sight to me.
But for me, this came as a big surprise. As soon as he punched me, it was like I suddenly had a sense of all the crap that Cadmus has to swallow. And for some reason, this night, that was too much.
Yeah, but the thing though is that you came up with the link move and you fail. So you have like the worst situation, and then like, oh shit, I need an obligation for him. So I was like, it's Ray's cousin. Ray's kind of a jerk, kind of a I don't know. So I was I was like, yeah. So you get, and I felt like, what about suggesting that Cadmus has something in his the thing where you put your clothes in
his apartment.
No,
or his closet.
The closet. He has a skeleton in the closet, right? Yeah. So the skeleton in the closet is that he owes a lame bar owner something really precious, and I didn't want it to came up with the reason why. I thought you would inject it, and no, either of us did. So we don't know why Cadmus ended up owing Lewis such a big, important thing. And it's just interesting to me because it's like, why would a guy like Cadmus, so straight, would be in such a situation?
I have an idea about it, but I don't know if I should say.
Well, maybe it can come out later when the police get you.
Yeah, not only did he owe him, not only was it just demeaning to owe that obligation, but not only was he unable to log in and change his credentials, and not only did the robot that's probably in love with him tell him, oh, by the way, by the way, yeah, this is worse than you thought. And in fact, there's nobody to actually go and beat the snot out of or make pay because they're impossible to trace. He was having a very effing bad day. So of course he killed a guy. This guy was in the wrong place at the wrong time and had the snot sprayed out of him.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how it all fits together.
Yeah.
And,
but I think that is a testimony of how good of a design that is, because it's a good design. I mean, everything fits together. Everything just block in. You roll the dice tell you what happens, then you narrate. And so I think that's what it means by play to find out, is just let the mechanic speaks. You utilize the procedure and you will see what kind of story it creates, and that's what it creates.
Yeah, that's the combat area, because we experienced that in the game I had last night too. And I didn't do a good enough job of I should have stopped the game and said, hey guys, we're gonna try this. It was a car chase. But it's that game very much the same thing. It's like one roll. And unlike the dual movement here, where you kind of inflicting harm, and this is more granular than the game we played last night. Last night is literally you have a combat, okay, roll a dice, all right, you win, you win with the complication, or you lose. But then the whole point is what the intention is you narrate back and forth. Well, how did this look? And it is very much kind of like I know it can be annoying, but it's almost like that. Well, maybe this, but it's this idea where the game actually is. You don't have to say maybe. You can just narrate like Anthony did. And I tried to get them to narrate in this car chase. How cool can we make this car chase? We know you're going to win. You're going to elude the bad guys. How cool can we make this scene where you beat the snot out of the bar owner? But instead of just saying I beat the snot out of the bar owner, or like, yeah, you killed him, it's like, well, let's narrate this back and forth. And so it's, to me, a big part of the game in this game, which is disguised as creating a story, is really like, well, how let's have some fun with this and make this a really cool scene. So which is a skill that I'm like only so at.
So one thing that I also think is cool is like it's kind of like the let it ride aspect of it, right? There's no do-over, no try again at a slightly higher difficulty kind of aspect. Right. So Cadmus logs in to do a simple thing of, he's got a new hairstyle, he's had plastic surgery or whatever, he needs to reacquaint the system with who he is. Simple, should be nothing. Doesn't work. So now it doesn't work, and we get to decide why. Is this the Veil kind of slowly cutting him out of the herd? Is this some kind of protection? Is his identity being erased? So when the police come looking for him,
you did receive a 24-hour notice just before that.
Right.
Remember that?
So yeah. So everything is messed up. And so we've got a whole lot of stuff that we can do with that. And,
and that what's nice with the rotating GMing duty is that will not be me to tell.
Yeah, so you get to discover it. Yeah.
Yeah, I get to discover it now, and I get to leave Ivan with a whole lot of shit to play with. A whole lot now. Now you have a lot of things to...
Yeah, you mailed me a package, and it's ticking. Thank you.
Anyway, thanks. I've got to go.
All right.
Right on.
So thank you guys, and I see you as Yorn next session.
All right. Excellent.
Well, get some sleep, everybody.
All right.
And that's it, folks. We're out.